Hi, it's John Etheridge, formerly known as the Cycling Artist again. Right, well, I've been working on another Faber Castell Pitt pens picture, as you can see. It's this giraffe. Pictures like I've never really seen done before in these pens, it has to be said. And last time I showed you a little bit about blending. I'll make a more detailed video about that in the future and be more specific about it. Now, I had intended to show you some of this painting a little bit earlier. However, it was going really well and I was really pleased, so I just carried on and hadn't really got to the point of doing a video. But when I came to do this part of the neck, I found that when I was standing away from it, albeit the details and these markings were correct on the draft, they actually didn't look right to me in a painting form, and the reason for that was this one was also stripy like this, and it looked more like a zebra than it did a giraffe. So I've had to try and look at how I can change this and make it look more pleasant, I suppose you'd call it. Now, the thing is, all these markings are okay, right? So what I did was, because there was white, well, I say it's white, it's a white base with a warm grey over the top and then a bit of a cold grey over the top of that to give it sort of kind of three different tones in this fur, so, and to give it a look like it would be in slight shadow. So this area here was a stripe just like that one. So what I've done is I've made that fatter by adding the brown colour on top of the white. Now, that's a good way of altering mistakes, which I'm about to show you in a minute with this other stripe. So I've added that on, and what I will do is I will then, if I need it darker, go over that again, just like that. And with every layer that goes on, it will get darker and become more of this other marking that I'm trying to add it to. Okay, so I'll just keep adding the layers in. So that stripe that I had there, that one's sorted. Easy as that. Basically, it's just drawing over the white layer. So here we are now with this stripe. I want to change the look of that stripe. Now, in effect, it's kind of the same as what I've just done, but instead of the white already being there, I'm going to have to add the white. So, as I said before, the white is the most important pen, and they come in two different sizes. There's a 1.5 and then there's a bullet type pen. The bullet type pen, for some reason, seems to be a lot more opaque than the 1.5 pen, brush pen. No, sorry, it's not a brush pen, it's a small 1.5 bullet pen. But the big bullet pen seems to be more opaque. So I'm not really sure why that is. I'm sure it shouldn't be, but it is. And I've heard that said in a video before about these pens. Not that there are many that kind of do it the way I do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this stripe into kind of more patches, a bit like that. So what I'm going to do first is anywhere where I need the white, I'm going to add that over the top of this brown. Now, I expect it won't cover it immediately. Sorry, that's the wrong thing to say. It will cover it immediately, but it won't cover it fully immediately. So I'll probably have to put another layer on. So if I do that now, and put where I perhaps want these stripes to be to form the shape of the patches that I am ultimately wanting. Right, so I'll just put that on there, and you can see already it's changed the outlook of that. Okay, now that's not perfect because it still looks like square patches, and that's not what I really want. So in the area, I'm going to let that dry. That's going to take a little bit longer than the normal white Pitt, the normal Pitt pens, because this is a white, it's opaque, it's got more density about it, and it will take a little bit more longer to dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this patch right, and I'm just going to change it to how I want it to look. Bearing in mind you need these stripy bits here to look correct as well. So I'm just going to add that bit over the top and turn it into more of a patch than a stripe. So do that, and again that will dry up slightly lighter, and you go over it again just like I did with that one. Now also I'm going to do that here. Now I'm going to try and work it out so that this nice little white stripe comes around here. Nice. Try not to get into your opaque white, because if you do, what you'll get is a and it's a good technique to use for other things, but you'll get a creamy brown, and we don't really want that. So just try not to get it into the white if that hasn't dried yet. And I'm going to just form a different looking patch here. Here we go. There we go. That's changed it completely. Now it looks more natural. Well, I'm hoping it does. So that said, that little bit that I had to cover, when that dries, I will go over that again. So we're going to have to wait a few minutes for this white to dry, and then I'm going to go over that with the warm grey and with the cold grey, just to bring it into light. Well, actually I might put another layer of white on here, but looking at this, it's actually covered really well. So normally, sorry, I've used my pointer, normally I may have to go over it again, but in this case I've got to be honest and say maybe I'll put a little bit of white on it again, let it dry up a bit more. Anyway, I'll put another bit of white on just to be on the safe side, because I don't want to have to be doing that again, do I? So there we go, that's covered it up completely now. So it's just like, I suppose it's a bit like copy decks, or these things that you can put over typewriting stuff when they used to do typewriters. So you just put over the top, let it dry. It's going to be a little while before it dries, but in the meantime I can work on these, because they'll dry a little bit quicker. So what I'm going to do now is, while I'm waiting for that, is I'm going to find my darker brown, if I can find it. Actually, it wasn't a darker brown, it was this brown. Now, I'm actually just going to colour in these bits so they become more part of the picture. So go over that bit. There we go. Now that looks more natural now. Two browns in there, they mix together and they give you that natural look that you're looking for. And this bit here that I'd already done, that bit there actually helped me with this bud of this flower as well, because it's now made it stand out a lot more, and with this leaf, so that's actually given me a bit of 3 dimension, and like anywhere else that you need to make things stand out, you just go over and darken up and the lighter bits will stand out again. Okay, so I'm just going to colour this bit in. Naturally, that's a nice shape, that one, so we aren't too bothered about that one. Everything looks a lot more natural now. These shapes look as if they are giraffe-like rather than zebra-like, so that's good. So it's a case of just letting that dry. As soon as that's dried, I'm going to get my warm grey, okay, and then I'm going to get my cold grey, and in this case, just to make it look a bit feathery, furry, I just dabble on top. Dabble on top. Okay. Trying to fit it in with the rest of this, which should be reasonably easy because you know what you've already done for this bit. So just adding in that, adding in the grey. Quite a lot of grey there, isn't there? So perhaps we'll just lighten that up by putting it in with our lighter grey again, our warm grey. I don't think, in all honesty, I've let it dry quick. It has enough. But there we are. We'll mix it in. It's just like blending paint, really, when it isn't dry. So you do that and clean your brush pen off on a piece of paper, and all of a sudden it's changed. It's changed from looking stripy into a more natural giraffe-like patches and shapes. And if you just need to define anything, obviously you let everything dry and you just go over the edges however you like. Alright, so putting a mistake right is literally as easy as that. Literally as easy as that. The hardest part about it is letting everything dry first before you go over the top of it again. Unless, of course, you want to blend it when you don't want it dry. But for this particular bit, we didn't need any blending. We just needed to alter something. So, as easy as that. So, that's a technique. So, it's over the top of a white with a darker colour. So, light colours first. But you can also use the opaque white to cover up dark mistakes and then go over the top. The colour of that with a natural colour and make it all correct. So only a short video, it wasn't a video intended. I'm going to come back with some better and longer videos again. I've still got to suss out how to use this damn camera, because as you noticed on the first, or the last video I should say, not the first video, it's stopped after half an hour. I don't understand why it's doing that. It was meant to be an hour-long affair, only it stopped after half an hour and did another file. I don't know much about video cameras. I know a lot more about painting, hopefully. As soon as I get my head around that, we can have some uninterrupted lessons and proper stuff going on. But I hope you got the gist of that. And yeah, happy painting. And take care of yourselves. Bye.